Hey, what's up guys, it's Dlsturbedx, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DeadEye gear set specifically for PvP. Before I get into it, I just want to mention that the setup that I was using in this gameplay wasn't even close to optimized. My gear was actually pretty terrible. I had basically bad rolls and everything that I was using, so all the damage you see me doing to players, basically multiply that by 2 if I had everything rolled perfectly. Anyways, let's get right into it. So I previously made a video about this set, talking about it from a PvE standpoint, like against NPCs and whatnot, and basically just explained how it's completely trash against NPCs because removing your headshot damage bonus can potentially nerf your DPS as opposed to buffing it, and it's just horrible in comparison to say something like Sentrys Call or something like that. But I didn't really go over it in PvP because I hadn't tested it yet, but today I was finally able to test it, and my god is it amazing. Being able to crit 100% of the time with a sniper in PvP can be very deadly because if you build your character right, you can easily 3-shot somebody. The thing about this build though is that if you don't have it set up a certain way, you're gonna have a bad time, okay? So briefly, let's talk about how to set it up, and then we'll talk about how good it actually is. Firstly, you want to stack crit damage as much as you possibly can to be able to use the 4-set bonus. You want it on your knee pads, your backpack, your gloves, your magazine, your muzzle, and if you can, try to get it on your gun. Next, you want to replace crit chance and headshot damage with something else more valuable. So for your scope, you'd try to replace it with like accuracy and an optimal range scope if you could. For your gloves, you want to replace the crit chance with marksman rifle damage, and for your mask and gear mods, get scope power instead of crit chance. Once you do all these things, you'll be pretty much a monster in the dark zone. It's really difficult to get all the perfect DeadEye pieces, but once you do, you'll be easily 2 or 3-shotting people left and right. Now, in terms of what gun you want an M1A. The M1A has a very fast fire rate, decently low recoil, and very high damage. With this build, you want to be able to spray people, and doing high damage is super important because you want to kill them before they even know what hit them. Try to get a first wave or a SOCOM M1A, and avoid the classic M1A because with the classic you can't really put a grip on it, which kind of sucks, and you're very dependent on recoil and stability with this build, so definitely try to get a first wave or a SOCOM one. Next, try to focus on a few weapon talents. A well-rolled M1A can easily mean the difference between melting people instantly or you getting melted instantly. You want to try to get accurate because this will allow you to spray multiple shots right off the bat before the reticle starts to bloom outwards, and when it starts to bloom you start missing your shots, so having accurate is a huge help. Capable is also really good as it does kind of the same thing, but it requires that you use a skill before, so it's not always super reliable. Another great talent is balanced because it makes your reticle get smaller faster after zooming in, and in PvP, you know, you're moving around a lot, and zooming in can take over a second with an M1A, so balance can be very helpful in certain situations. Deadly is also really nice to have since this build is solely reliant on crit damage. Just try to get an M1A with at least one of these talents and you should be good to go. Since your build is solely reliant on crit damage, having a decent amount of skill power with pulse will benefit you greatly, being able to do up to almost 100% extra crit damage, so definitely be running pulse with this build. So that's pretty much it in terms of maximizing yourself with this build. It can be pretty hard to get everything set up right, but once you do, like I said before, you'll be an absolute monster in the dark zone, easily 2 to 3-shotting even the most tankiest players. In the gameplay, you see me doing a pretty decent amount of damage on people, and that's with my build being not even close to optimized. My M1A isn't very good, my skill power is incredibly low, so my pulse isn't doing a lot of damage, and I'm missing crit damage on my knee pads and my backpack, along with the fact that I don't even have marksman rifle damage on my gloves either. But if you do manage to set everything up perfectly, I promise you using this build will be an absolutely amazing idea. If you just take cover, pulse, and then unload on a completely unsuspecting player, I guarantee you will drop them before they even know what hit them. This build is extremely viable in PvP and very powerful, but only if it's set up correctly and used correctly. When people get close to you, you can either switch to an SMG if you want, or you can just hip-fire the shit out of them. Hip-firing is actually surprisingly effective with this, because you can spray pretty fast with an M1A, and if you have like a laser sight on it, you can be pretty damn accurate with it, melting somebody before they even know what happened to them at close range. Regardless, this set is absolutely amazing in PvP if used right, and I suggest that everybody at least try it out. I'm sorry if this video wasn't really in-depth enough. I will be making a build video on this set in the future once I get all the right pieces. Just right now, all my pieces are horribly rolled, so me making a build video would be pretty counterproductive. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like, follow my Twitter so you can ask me any questions you want, and subscribe for videos similar to this one. I'll see you later, guys.